wait till the morning. But I promise I won't rush on you. Can't wait till the morning. I'll take my time on you. Screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming.
Shorty, tell me what you need, tell me what you need. Shorty, meet me at the room, yeah. Number 2410. Baby, come by when you're ready. Leave the door unlocked for the ice and the Henny. Number 2410. Shorty, meet me at the room, yeah. Number 2410. Baby, come by when you're ready. Leave the door unlocked for the ice and the Henny.
Number 2410. Can't wait till the morning. But I promise I won't rush on you. Can't wait till the morning. And I swear I'll take my time on you. I got you screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming.
You know I hate to wait. I need you right now. Tryna see how much that she can take. I'ma have her screaming out so loud. Face down and so. Promise you won't fall in love. Cause we both know entanglements get dangerous.
She wanna know how I feel, she wanna fuck with a real one. I put something in your tummy, now you all in your feelings. I put you in Gucci, you gave me that cookie. Put you in Prada, girl, I ain't no rookie. I see you looking from a mile away, from a mile away. Life's too real, we don't waste time. Keep it all that you like. All in my bag, I'm all in my bag.
Number 2410. Baby, come by when you're ready. Leave the door unlocked for the ice and the Henny. Number 2410. Shorty, meet me at the room, yeah. Number 2410. Baby, come by when you're ready. Leave the door unlocked for the ice and the Henny.
Number 2410. Can't wait till the morning. I promise I won't rush on you. Can't wait till the morning. And I swear I'll take my time on you. I got you screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming. I got you screaming.
When you come around, I want this for real, so don't let me down. This is nothing basic, so I hope you're ready. This time you chase me, I'ma let you catch me. No, I won't fight, no objections from me this time. The mood is right, do whatever to me that you like. No downtones, no danger zones, just alone with you. A wet dream with ice cream, a movie scene with you. I'm ready, a movie scene with you.
Shorty, meet me at the room, yeah. Number 2410.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Namaste. Jambo. Ashe. Shalom. Shalom. Dawn turn. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I would turn on my camera, but I just came back from being out, and I was definitely in watching the Super Bowl game. First off, I would like for you to please hit the like button. I never say that. Well, I have been saying a lot lately. Please hit the like button. 4 people or more people. I love you. Hit the like button. Let me say this. I will be doing a presentation. Don't think I forgot. I don't think you forgot. On the HOK, the hidden Kemetic genealogy from Moses to Jesus, aka Yahushua, aka Yeshua. So I will be doing a presentation on that. There's a couple of other scholarly, I guess, Bible scholar presentations I will be doing. Definitely going to do some more stuff on the Dark Watchers. I'm eating some cashews and what are these? Cashews, almonds. So excuse me if you hear me crunching. So, peace. Who watched the Super Bowl? That's what I really wanted to know. I like the Super Bowl. It's not a bad thing, but I want to show you something. Now, no, I'm not anti-Super Bowl, but I want you knowledge is power. Let's see. Will the Super Bowl affect fans' political views? I haven't even read this whole article, but let's read it now. This is the New York Times. Will the Super Bowl affect fans' political views? Please hit the like. Please share my video. You say you love me. And keep my commandments. A psychologist at Tulane University offers insight into just how powerfully sporting events can get into our heads. Now, let's not forget that in ancient times, there were sporting events. Olympics were events. We had different types of Roman gladiator events. And those events were put on by the senators in Rome. Senators put that on. In Greece, same thing. Those who were the rulers put on different events. So sports is very much linked to politics. So, do sporting events get into our heads? Well, let's see. Oh, I forgot. They want me to buy this. Well, I'm not going to buy it. Well, let's read it. I had this subscription before. I had so many subscriptions, just paying for everything for nothing. Damien R. Murray, a psychologist at Tulane University, studies how various social circumstances and life events affect people's political views. For instance, he found recently becoming a parent makes a person grow more socially conservative. On the eve of the Super Bowl, he sat down for an interview with the New York Times to discuss another recent study which examined how the political perspectives of sports fans can be altered by their team's wins and losses. I believe I am subscribed to this gentleman, Damien Murray, on YouTube. They're like, oh, Nepal, you didn't share the right article, whatever. You know how many articles are out here talking about how sports shape our views. But don't worry about me. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm going to talk to you today. I'm going to take this down. Hit the like. I'm going to share the link. Don't be afraid to come in, please. It's not that late. What is it? Sunday? Just another manic Sunday. All right, here we go. Wish it were a fun day. What does it say? Monday. Manic Monday? I'm lost. All right, so who liked the Super Bowl? Talk to me. I'm going to look in the chat. Nobody's commenting. What?
What's wrong with you guys? This is the most you're going to get out of me. No drinking tonight, which I could have, but I had to drive. I don't drink and drive. How many of you do? Be honest. I don't like drinking and driving. Moms against drunk drivers. Present. So people tune into me when they're like, they love me. Some people tune in to get content. Or both. But I just want to see what you thought about the Super Bowl. Do you think it was a good win? I thought it was awesome. I'm not going to lie. I was working some metaphysical magic. I have proof that I sent someone a message and I said, 25, the winner will have 25 points. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be San Francisco that be the winner, but I did say it's going to be 25 points. I could show you. But anyway. So, the Super Bowl. Who watched it? Why? Do you usually watch it? Are you afraid to comment? Are you a bunch of haters? Weirdos? I definitely have 7. Oh, wait, 8. I'll end it if you don't want to say anything, if you don't want to engage. You're like, wait a minute, Nepal, we don't always have to engage when you're... Listen, I'm asking a question in my title. Who watched the Super Bowl? If nobody did, I'm not mad at you. Bye. So, I was going to talk about something else. Oh. I also want to talk about men. How, like, no man, and tell women, like, no man wants to hear you sit up on the internet or anywhere, even in a bar, talking about how good your sex is. I find that a lot of black women do that mainstream. Stop doing that, sisters and queens. Stop talking about how good your coochie is. It's just weird and disgusting. Now, it's different if somebody's like, you have the worst sex in the world. Then, yeah, you got to talk up yourself. But black women like to get on the internet and say, everybody knows that my coochie is the best. So I wanted to talk about that too, but it's nothing to do with Super Bowl. However, I just thought of it earlier and I didn't get to talk about it on my other stream, so I want to bring it up. Oh, for the winners of the Super Bowl, by the way, congratulations, Patrick Mahone. Is it Mahoney or Mahone? I think it's Mahone. Such a cutie pie. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to show you cutie pies, handsome men compared to men. Like, you know, people are like, because I thought a long time people were like, asking the question, like, what's your type? And I never really thought about that. I never thought, oh, that's my type. So I analyzed myself and I was like, oh, I do have a type. So let's look at that since you all don't want to talk about Super Bowl. Let me show you my type. I don't really have a type, though. These are men who I find very attractive. Like facial features, not I want to be with these people. So these are going to be like, some are going to be randoms. And some will be, oh, I know that guy's name. Oh, Nepal wants to be with so-and-so and so. So I'm going to use this face so you can get an idea of what I figured out. Damn, where is it? Oh my God, I can't even find it. It's crazy. Face, hold on. So I like a narrow face, I notice. It doesn't, now that doesn't mean that's the only handsome face. I like a narrow, not wide face. Damn, I can't even find it. It's weird. I'm still looking. Wait, hold on. Damn. It's gonna come up. Trust me, I'll see it in a minute. Well, I didn't have it queued up because I wasn't really gonna talk about this, but okay, there are other people in this video, right, in this picture, so I'm gonna show you the face I like. Okay, so and you let me know what's up with that. It doesn't mean oh that's the best face, but people are always asking questions like I don't have a type though. I still don't have a type. Here it is. Look at this face. Okay, yeah. Look at Sonetter's face. See how it's narrow? Not everybody else. Like, see how it's like longer, like from top of the head to chin. I noticed that I like a. Hey, what's up? No, hit the link. I want to talk to you about some scientific stuff. Did you watch Super Bowl? Arizona, American Las Vegas Super Bowl. Let me invite you. I'm dropping the link for you, Cedrick. Come on in. Damn, why can't I share it? This is weird. But anyway, that I just like a face that's longer. But that doesn't mean that that's the only face. But I thought about that. The Chiefs, you just go with the winner. Hit the link, Cedrick. I want you to hit that link and come in. I want to talk to you. I promise. You will get VIP treatment. I will not beat you up. I want to talk to you about some science, though. You know, last time you said you're coming in and you're driving home. I promise I won't yell at you. If I yell at you, I'm a loser. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, like how his face is. I like faces like that. So that's where I am right now, y'all. That's all I got. If somebody has a wide face, that's on them. Peace, Cedrick. Let me let Cedrick in.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, I watched the Super Bowl, and I'm saying the Chiefs won, but I expected them to. Mahone is building his dynasty. I watch football.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean Super Bowl I watch, but to be honest, I'm not like, oh Super Bowl. I mean, oh football, I have to watch it.
The
You watching the
halftime show
regular
was
basis?
awesome. Well, I follow. I like the Ravens. I like their young quarterback, but I was really a Tom Brady fan. So as he stepped out of the football for the last couple of years, I wasn't watching. But this year I watched Lamar Jackson, so I'm gonna start watching his games next season.
Okay, so let me see. Tom Brady was Patriots, right?
Yeah, he played with the Patriots before he went to the Buccaneers for 2 years. He won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers as well, and then he retired.
Would you say I'm stuffing my mouth with like tons of I'm eating this trail
That's
mix.
okay.
I'm so hungry. I didn't eat all day, and I know it's late, but I had to eat something. So, would you say that Patrick Mahone is similar to, or he's following the footsteps of Tom Brady?
Well, he's 7 years in the league. He's been to the Super Bowl 5 times, and he's now won it 3 times, and the first back to back. So he has a chance to even outdo Tom Brady in terms of winning a three-peat, and he can possibly do it. He's that good.
Wow, you seem like you really are. So in the island in the Caribbean, because I know they watch football even in Vietnam, American football.
Like Saint Martin is like if you come to Saint Martin, it's like you're in the east coast of the United States. So our music is like all the hip. We watch the Grammys. I have full access to over a couple, 400 TV channels like ESPN. I got all ESPN. We got all that stuff. So it's like we're pretty much American TV.
Mm-hmm.
CBS, ABC, NBC, but I don't watch much TV. My my TV is YouTube. I watch Nepal, I watch Soneta. I'm a part of
Oh,
the
okay.
pseudo killer. Part of the
But you
pseudo
know what?
killers. I think
I've been to St. Martin.
you're like
What? You
You
said
was
I'm
in
lying?
you was in my no. I'm when I say that, I was
You
just
mean
having
like,
a
are you kidding? I
conversation.
get it. Like, are you
Like you're
kidding?
kidding. Like you're
Oh
lying.
yeah,
You're
I've
kidding.
been to
Serious?
a lot of islands, Caribbean. I've been to Martinique, Saint Mark and Anguilla,
Yeah.
Virgin Islands, of course
Okay.
Jamaica a few times. Where else have I been in the Caribbean?
So you was in Martin like a tourist. Now you gotta come back and you're gonna get a
Barbados,
pseudo killer trip.
Barbados. You know,
Yeah,
I went as a
Barbados like
tourist. Now
that.
I can come back as like a scientist.
Yeah, you could come back and get a pseudo killers in Martin official official island treatment.
You think I'm
It's
joking? Well,
different.
I will have Sonair get right on the plane. It's what is it? A 2 hour flight for him?
Yeah, from New York is a 2 hour flight. Like we got, and there's flights in to St. Martin 7 days a week, literally.
Oh, I've been to Trinidad. I was in a music video there.
You wow, cool. From which
So,
artist?
Cedric,
From who?
no, I won't be saying that here. But Cedric, let me tell you something, okay? I
Tell me.
absolutely love you and Ankh and Juju. And oh my God, Sosa. Oh God, I beat him up so badly when I was in SWVL. But listen, when I do the impersonation and everything, when I say professor, it's not because you know that I have Caribbean roots, right?
Like the part. Like I appreciate it. Like you honestly gotta understand something about me. This is all fun for me.
It
Like
is fun for me too.
I do not take it personally. I love it. I appreciate it. I like you, Napa. Like
But
honestly, I like.
no, I don't just like you. You're one of my favorite people on YouTube. Let me tell you something about you though. The more I like someone, the more they get under my skin when they misrepresent me. Like when you said I didn't know what phosphorus was.
No,
I speak Spanish and matches are fósforos, right?
claro, but white phosphorus, and the
But it
fact that
just
it reacts with the sun.
anyway. I don't want to. You see, I'm keeping it on the surface.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Let's say this.
like. I really don't like to fight with you. Like I don't
But
like
we
to
have
argue
to
with you.
fight. No, Cedric, don't you get
No,
it?
we don't have to
No,
fight.
no,
We could
brother,
build
my
them.
friend,
We
my
could
friend.
build them.
We have to give them the a WWE. We have to get that fight going. Like, Muhammad Ali versus
I gonna. You see, now I'm at a disadvantage, Napa.
no,
Like
you're not.
I gonna lose. I gonna lose.
Oh
Like
no,
like
you're a real scientist. I'm just a bum on the internet. What do you do? I want to ask you. I was throwing jabs. I said phlebotomist, and nothing's wrong with being a phlebotomist. I actually am qualified to draw blood, and
well,
for it.
I developed a national laboratory on the island, SLS, and my sister, I trained her as a phlebotomist, and she still works there. Now, phlebotomy is just part of what you do as a clinical technician. So,
But it's very important. I want to say
yeah,
this
yeah,
when
yeah.
I tease. We all go do our talk, our crap, but being a phlebotomist is very important. It's the first line. If you don't do that right, a lot of research will go wrong. So,
Yeah, when it comes to things like extracting blood from neonatals and stuff like that,
yeah.
even in the hospital here, because of the amount of blood that the phlebotomists from the lab do, they actually request them to do neonatal blood tapping and stuff like that. Um,
Oh
so
wow.
it is part of what you do as a lab technician. Um, I was very proficient at it. Why? Because I I set challenges for myself, so I never wanted to stick someone twice. So I became highly proficient at phlebotomy, and it is very, very important. But it is only part of what we do. So though that sample collection, and then in our national laboratory here, we have serology, hematology. We do
Right.
urine analysis and blood chemistry, and I'm first in doing all that. However, that is just what I'm professionally trained to do. Next to that, and with that background, I worked in the public health policy development for 14 years. And I developed things like the National Ordinance for water quality, for drinking water, the National Ordinance for water quality. I established environmental laws again within the environmental water quality, so surface water quality and the monitoring thereof. I established a national laboratory. I developed a national food safety program, stuff like that. And what I do now is I manage the health and safety for one of the larger corporate resorts on the island. So I'm in charge of all the public health stuff like that, the same policy work and implementation. So in charge of all the departments, making sure that things like in the aspect of public health is up to par. So pool quality, water quality. We just had a noro outbreak, which is regular this time of the year. So I implemented all the precautionary measures. Same type of work I did for the public health department when they had the COVID outbreak. I wrote a suppression plan. So it's I do a lot, but I'm
That's
very humble and modest. So
no,
when
no.
I'm on these platforms,
You are not humble and modest. Stop. But you know
when
what I
I'm
will
on these
say?
platforms, I
Stop.
just try to be a communicator, and I don't walk around like uh, stay saying all that. It's not necessary.
Listen to me. Listen to me. When I beat you up, so to speak, it's every people beat me up the same way. So hold on. Let me before we get to you, where I just said no, you're not humble and modest. That's okay. What you just outlined, all of that is a big deal. People don't understand that when they look at recreational activities such as travel and resort fun and staying in resorts, these are one of the biggest places of disease transmission, right? you
Yeah,
and you know I think, I forget, don't quote me, but a lot, not just this place that I'm about to speak of, but where you are, it's a lot of tourism. The higher the
yeah,
tourism, there's an African resort that had a big outbreak of tuberculosis, and there were teams, so to speak. I don't know what you call them, but teams of biologists, healthcare providers. I don't know if it's OSHA there, so this is where I'm ignorant, but just people who make sure. Listen, you want to come here and have fun, or do you want to come here and lose your life? So
yeah.
would you
Well,
just go ahead? That's a big
that
deal for me. What you do?
that's what I do. I manage our health and safety for the whole resort. So implementation of sanitization programs, implementation of disinfectant programs, the timing, the sequence, the personnel, train everybody, understand what communicable diseases is, how the rooms are serviced and maintained. I write all the programs. I do all that.
And that is amazing. You never said that before. See, I would have been taking it easy on you. I'm glad I call you Professor from Killigan's Island, though. You thought it was like people were like, how could you, Nepal, the Caribbean? But you know what, though? My family, I have my dad's side.
But
It's the
I
island of Hispaniola.
I why like
I'm
that's
Caribbean. I have
but that's
Caribbean
fun
roots.
though. Like it's all within like if it's hip hop, right? Like let's look at it like battle rap.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be a perfect analogy, right? I'm on an island.
And you're a
I'm the
professor.
I'm the professor. Like it's perfect. Like I find it entertaining, look. But I'm like I honestly my skin, like I'm not so fragile, like
That's good.
so
Yeah. I
yeah,
know
like
you.
I have fun because like I appreciate the entertainment aspect of it. We're having fun. I love the way Sa throws the jabs, but we make scholarship fun by keeping it in the WWE arena. And
Right.
I'm the
Right.
perfect candidate. Like, yeah, take the jabs. I like them. Like, okay,
No,
no,
I
no,
blocked
I'll
you.
my ass again. Like,
I
why?
blocked you because you came in. Let me say something too. Let me say this.
Why
Listen,
though?
listen, no, let's be real. What I love about you is because you came back with like very classy. You didn't come back like F her and let's find
No,
this
I'll
about her.
never do that.
No, and you know
Like,
what? That I
no, I never do.
totally listen. I still am gonna get mad. You're not mad when I say mad. I'm still gonna be moved, rubbed the wrong way about the information. You are too, and I
That's okay
now
though.
now I really am like, wow, this is awesome. Cedrick can handle it. I do a very awesome impersonation of you.
I love it. I am so flattered.
Uh,
Oh, flattered. You have no idea.
you want to hear something wild? When they ask me to do it, like at the drop of a dime, I can't do it. But when I'm looking at something you say or teach that I don't like, I am on point. I can't do it when they say, "Okay, do Cedric," and I'll try to do it.
I went and I listened to that shit. It was hilarious. I'm like, the fuck, spot on, yo. The fuck got my accent down. Ah.
No, but you're very. No, I'm going to tell everybody this. It's very distinguished. That's why I also thought the professor. But see, I'm dissing, but I'm like showing love. I'm like Killigan's Island, and I was like, I need the fucking coconut. Did you hear the part where I said to give Gilligan bring me more coconut water? I'm gonna prove that. What I say? I'm gonna prove that consciousness. Oh, my stomach. So says Gilligan. I'm gonna throw this out. So sad, I love you. You're Gilligan. But Gilligan's like, there's so much serendipity and like coincidental happening. Crazy genius. But it's
You're
so funny.
so
Like,
wrong.
bring
You're
me
so wrong. You're
what
so
I say,
wrong.
bring me coconut water and more what I say?
No, I gotta ask you how you like your jelly soft or hot?
What'd you say?
Your coconut. Like I like my jelly soft, but some people like their jelly hard, like the inside of the coconut. So I could just ask you where you want, soft or hard jelly.
But that was so funny that I mean I listened back and I was like, some of the stuff, I'm gonna be honest, I'm like, no, that was unnecessary.
Listen,
But at the end of the day, really, I want to, in all seriousness, and I promise I'm not gonna fly off the handle. You
like,
can be yourself, but I want to ask you, when I
mm,
talk about, like, none of us are quantum physicists, none of us are quantum theorists. Like when you guys are over there, especially one of the pseudo killers, I apologize, I don't remember his name. When you're over there talking about philosophical content, and Cedric, be honest, it's metaphysical. When you're over there, wait, I'll let you answer. When you're over there talking about the metaphysical, when you exactly said, we're not talking about the metaphysical. And then you go into talking about quantum theory or discussing quantum theory, quantum experiments in quantum mechanics. Like, how do you think, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm just sitting waiting like, oh, really? So how I
we're
heard
gonna,
you with your small explanation about it. When I say small, like the short explanation, like, well, we always did that. But be honest, I've sat with you, Lex has sat with you, and you guys are always like, if I don't see it in the natural world right there, observable with no doubt, I'm not going to discuss it. So, because I'm happy you're expanding yourselves to speak about metaphysical, but am I wrong? Like, have you guys not accepted those type of conversations in the past? Go ahead.
okay. First of all, let me first preface this. I will never, ever, ever disrespect you as a human being.
And I
So the
thank
F
you.
bombs and the negativity, like no, not like that's not my character. That's not my nature. Like I genuinely like you as a human being. Like the
Thank you.
information we could disagree and we could battle it out. Like go ham. You don't have to pull no punches, but there will never be disrespect from my part. That's just not, that's not what I'm about. Like
I appreciate it.
fundamentally.
Thank
Now,
you.
In the in when we talk about metaphysics, it is depends on where you're at and what you're talking about. In this conscious community, the word metaphysics means the abstract or outside of reality. Whereas the philosophical concept of metaphysics is uh, the whys, the how comes, and for example, the hard problem of consciousness, the fact that I cannot quantify Nepal's experience, Nepal cannot quantify my experience, but we can identify blue. We can agree that's blue, but how do we feel about the blue? What does it mean? What does it say to us as individuals? This is metaphysics in terms of philosophy. When we're dealing with quantum mechanics and the quantum world, that's uh, when the word metaphysical was used in that concept, it was relating to beyond Newtonian physics, but it didn't mean metaphysical in the sense of abstract concepts, spirituality, etc. It meant it meant in science it actually means sub-Newtonian physics. So the quantum world and how we explain that and how we understand that, right? So all science is based on philosophical principles, right? Like I keep saying, I'm fundamentally grounded in methodological naturalism. I'm not a philosophical naturalist that says everything and all things can be explained only by science, right? There are some aspects of reality uh, that that you can explain them by science, but they don't actually uh, give you substance. So how we feel, or the why questions. Why does this? Why is there a universe? These are questions that methodological naturalism wouldn't be able to answer. These are philosophical discussions that we can continue to have for eternity. But quantum world is an actual science, and that is firmly rooted within methodological naturalism. We apply the fundamental forces to them. They break down in certain aspects. There are certain things that we still can't explain. The calculations maybe are there, but we don't have the actual data to substantiate it. That's why they continue to do the experiments, for example, with the Hadron Collider. They're starting it up again to go beyond the Higgs boson now to discover what lies beyond that fundamental quantum field, right? But this is hard science, and we explore that and we discuss that by means of the scientific method. I think that's where there's a disconnect or a miscommunication. So whenever Zion attempt or Lex Vortex attempts to quantify God by means of using quantum physics, as if quantum physics doesn't fall within the realm of methodological naturalism. He's making a philosophical and fundamental flaw in his reasoning. Because again, science and methodological naturalism makes no claim for or against the supernatural. We cannot use the tool of science to substantiate these claims. That's where the conversation breaks down with me and Lex.
Hmm. So, so basically, you have that scientific mind where you are functioning as an actual, when I say functioning as an actual scientist, because some of us, we all have scientific minds somewhere. Like how, how some people will say, oh, everybody believes in God. We're all Israelites. You just don't know it. Get it? So with science, which makes more, for me, makes more sense. We all are scientific. We just, some of us don't realize it as much and connect with it and build on it or express it. So with you, because of what you do, because it's a part of your lifestyle, because it's a part of your career, you're very scientific, and then you're very structured, because science is very structured.
Yes,
As okay, so
agree.
me saying that, even when you go in a philosophical, metaphysical discussion, you're still structured, right? You, so far, you're with me, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you brought up. I don't like speaking about Lex too much. He absolutely, he's like he's one of my nemesis.
Oh boy.
So, however, like what your conversation with Lex, I don't really know that much. So I want to talk about your conversation with me. I'm going to
Okay.
bring it back to me. And he
Oh,
said you made a lot of sense. So for me, I want to be able to have a discussion with you. Peace to you, Rock City, hot boy, bam. And I'm gonna check your music. Um, yeah, those Chiefs. Bleh. I want the 49ers to win, but yeah, the Chiefs are good. Um, okay, let me get back to what I was saying. Oh, I want to talk to you. I need to hear from you, Cedric, Professor. When we let's have a very structured conversation, right? What about the physicists who subscribe to phenomenal, not even phenomenal, inexplicable information, which we say spiritual information, like Schrodinger, how he really aligns with the Vedic teachings? I don't know if you're aware of that, but I think you are, because I know you. One thing about you, you're very intelligent. Like you, if you didn't know something, you definitely gonna go learn it to the fullest. So I think you heard me talk about this before. Can you discuss that with me?
okay.
Like,
Now,
how does
so
Schrodinger, not to cut you off, how does someone like Schrodinger say, "Oh yeah, the Vedic, all the Vedic teachings are absolutely amazing. They're beyond me. They're real." You know?
like like in his work, this is why I keep saying, I know surgeons that believe in God, that
Right.
pray before they execute a surgery. So there is no reason to to there is no reason why you can't be scientific and have a belief in God. Now, Schrodinger, uh, he probably read the Vedas, found them interesting, and said there's some truth to them, or maybe even said he believed them. But that isn't reflected in his work nor his data, because
Mm.
because his experiment Schrodinger cat is one in which he attempts to explain to us by means of this hypothesis, this experiment, this how do you call it, this philosophical experiment, to explain what uh, what 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 quantum uh, indeterminism means, right? Uh, Prior to opening that box, prior to the observation, prior to determining where that particular particle is, it can be. It's both. It's both here and there. It's both dead and alive. The cat's both dead and alive, because you cannot predetermine the state from looking outside of the box. So you would have to conclude that the cat is both alive and dead until you open that box. So the particular particle is both at that place and it's somewhere else until the point of actualization, until that wave collapses, right? The
Sure.
particle can be in a particular range. That is what gives that quantum flux, that variation, which produces the field in which that particular particle can be, which is indeterminate until that wave collapses and that particular particle is identified in a specific area until the
Stop
point
right
of
there. Yeah,
observation.
and stop right there. But what the not even the catalyst, the determine the one who determines, the determinant, right? The one who determines that is the observer. And that is the part that blows the mind of the scientist, the philosopher, anybody, right? So getting back to that, listen, let me say this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change my title. I'm going to hand this over to you and change my title because I really want to make this getting into the mind of the scientific atheist who discusses the metaphysical or something like that, because this is really what I want from you.
Okay.
I don't want you to feel like I have to protect my atheistic
No,
ideals.
I
know you're not doing that right now. You're just really being very open. So I want you to stay on that mode. But I want you
having
to
a conversation.
I'm going to hand this over to you because I got to go in and change the title. So you're going to have a minute. I won't be listening. So just kind of, just get recap for those who are coming in. But I really want to say this. I want to ask you. You say you don't see it in his work. I see it in Schrodinger's work. But I get it. Again, we're talking about you with your specific categories, lanes, boxes, all types of organization. But when you're coming from a very metaphysical, philosophical point of view, because let's be real, for me, I see a lot of mockery from the pseudo killers, like, oh, you really thought that meant this. No, it's not that I think it means anything. For me, I'm talking about me personally. It's the observation that Schrodinger himself says, yeah, I did this I did the study, I did the experiment. It wasn't about feelings. It wasn't about me blurring lines. It was very uniform, very organized. And this is my result. And even in all of that, when I stuck to scientific measures and methods and stayed strong in the science, you understand, didn't try to make it blur any lines or be any type of subjective information injected into the research. So he said, even after all of that, now it validates the spiritual teachings. I'm going to say that again because that's what I want you to talk on. It's the scientists like you. I think you're coming toward it more and more. I'm talking about the whole pseudo, not just you. Whole pseudo Killigan's Island, because we can't call you pseudo killers anymore. So it's a pseudo Killigan's Island. They're like, yes. So you're saying, okay, I get it. It's not about Bible thumping or Quran pushing or enforcing or Judaism or Kabbalah. It's about science, and I can approach, I'm doing the air quotes, God, or whatever you want to call it, which scientists like Schrodinger don't say, oh, God this, God that. Michio Kaku doesn't say God, but we, for lack of better expressions, we say God. So I want you to talk to us from that angle. Even though you as a scientist and all scientists have looked at the information and they said, yes, this is the way it is. Oh, here is the double slit experiment. Photons do this when it really has to do with the observer. And now the science is there. Let me talk to you about how it does align with spiritual teaching. Can you do that for us, honestly? I'm going to mute out and let you go. I'm going to go ahead and change the title. Go ahead. For the honor.
Okay. I want to wait until you're back, because we need to go right back there, because I know we would have to go back there.
Yes.
To
so
understand.
I'm gonna come back. What you can do is just give some people some background on the double slit experiment.
Exactly.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So the observer effect and the the double slit experiment. Scientists and science has a way of using certain terms, tongue in cheek, um, and it sometimes can create confusion. So, like the Higgs boson, they called it the God particle. Now, now that in itself is misleading and can be misconstrued. Uh, uh, so when we talk about the observer effect, what are we actually talking about? What is the observer, and what does that mean? The observer isn't the physical uh, looking human observations. It's the system by which we measure the photon. We cannot see a photon with our naked eye. So we use instruments to measure the photon. And these measurements, which use light, which is a photon, actually interacts with the experiment, right? Um, take the measurement away, you just get a wave function. Put the measurement in there, you get the collapse. Now, if there was an observer independent of that light source, which we use to measure the photon, then we would get a particle, then we would get a wave collapse consistently, because there would be an observer outside of space time always influencing the experiment. Now, you actually need to slow down by that point and hear it again. If there was an independent observer, when we are not executing the measurement, which we call the observation, we would get a wave collapse every time, because the observer is outside looking in and would determine how that wave function collapses. So you would get a collapse of the wave function every time. We only get a wave function collapse when we engage by means of observation. And that observation has been misunderstood to be our physical observation. The fact that we are, quote unquote, looking. That's not what is happening. What is happening is a light source is added to the experiment to measure when that particle passes. And that interaction collapses the wave function. So what Schrodinger's experiment is doing is it, it it's it's giving you the randomness of a particular place that a particle is going to be at any given point in time. And that randomness is not completely random. It's within a particular field. But where in that field it is going to actually be the particle, we cannot determine that until that wave function collapses. So if we put that into a hypothetical discussion, and you have to imagine a cat in a box, but this cat represents a particle. You don't know if the particle is there or not. You don't know if the cat is alive or not. The cat can be dead, the cat can be alive. Until you look, the cat is both alive and dead. You cannot philosophically uh, make a statement about the state of the cat prior to observing. So we do not know where this particular wave is going to collapse. This wave is going to collapse into a particle until it actually happens. That's what that is saying.
Sorry about that. Okay. I'm back. So I missed a lot, but hey.
So I'm gonna recap. It's easy. So we're going to have to take this back all the way to the double slit experiment and the word observer. Like science always does cheek and tongue with terminologies like the Higgs boson, which is a field, a gravitation, which gives subatomic particles their mass. They call it the God particle, which is actually a quantum field, right? But science does this. So now, when we talk about the observer, in colloquial mind setting, we would assume a human engaging with a particular phenomena by means of looking, touching, smelling, or feeling. In this case, we're talking about a photon. We cannot physically observe a photon, and certainly not passing through any slits. So what we use is instruments, and by means of light, we measure when this photon passes. This interaction is what we call the observer effect. What happens is that the light used to measure that photon interacts with that photon, which collapses the wave into a collapses the wave into a particle, right? That's what the observer effect means. It doesn't mean that the individual looking at the experiment has an effect. Now, if we were
Now
to
you know that I
assume,
know that, right? I'm not the
okay,
type. I'm gonna let you go, but see, I
so
that's
now,
the guy that was on your pseudo killer team. That's not the issue. It's yes, it doesn't
so
really. Those are splitting hairs because
no,
it's still talking about measurement, and at the end of the day, it goes back to a measurer. So I just want to throw that out there. But go ahead.
no, but what happens is the instrument that we use to measure is what collapses the wave. Now, if you take that measurement away, that instrument away, there is no interference. So there is no point at which that wave is going to collapse because there's nothing for it to interfere with.
And
There's no
don't you
other
find this to be
particle.
more phenomenal? Because let me just because I know I love that you're going, and I'm not going to keep on. I might keep jumping in because it's important that I want to interject this when
That's
you
okay.
have a measurer or a measure, because ultimately the measurement is the observation is the study of it, or again, I know this is going to be far-fetched for you, it's the conscious focus on it, the inquisitive mind, the one who wants to understand more about it. You're measuring it, you have applied that particular behavior or that action. That is what makes it even more phenomenal. That if you're just, you talk about observation, it's just occurring. It can occur without any observation. Once it's focused on for measurement, because the measurement is the focus of it, to understand it, that's when it reacts in almost like in your favor, right?
Well, what happens, like the observation part and the conscious activity in understanding what is happening is really the analysis of the data. That is what the human does. But the tool to gather the information, there is no consciousness there. Now, when you take that instrument away, if there was such a thing as an independent observer, a consciousness that exists outside of the universe, then that wave would constantly collapse into a particle. But only when we engage with that particle by means of an instrument do we see the wave collapsing. So, so there needs to be a reaction with a particular particle to cause the wave to collapse. So now, when we go over into Schrodinger's experiment, what he's trying to explain with his hypothetical experiment is how that process is happening. You have a particular particle, it moves within a particular field. So there is no way to predetermine where that particular particle is going to be. That's all within the chaos theory within the quantum world, right? There is no way to predetermine exactly where that particle is going to
Right,
be.
like entropy, basically.
However, that particle is going to be within a particular range. Now, Schrodinger says the particle is neither here nor there prior to the observation. So
It's
at the
neither
point
here
that
nor there prior to the
nor there,
observations. Yeah,
yes. So the cat is neither dead nor alive. The cat
right,
is both dead
exactly.
and alive. So
Which is awesome.
the cat is in a state of quantum flux,
Yes.
both dead and alive, until the observation is made and we actually now know where it is. We're not having influence on it. We're becoming aware of its position at the point that we do this measurement. So he's giving you the other side of the double slit experiment with his with that explanation, right? So um, um, that again is trying to give us a grasp of the quantum world and how completely opposite it is to our instincts and the way the Newtonian world operates. We
And
know
may
atom
I ask
here
you this?
reacts there.
Right.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't mean to. I'm going to jump in when you said, because when you say Newtonian world, exactly. So for me, that's how I view pseudo killers. The pseudo Killigan Island. I view you're on the level. Okay, yes. Who's going to really say Isaac Newton is not one of the forefathers of the trailblazers of all scientific um, study, scientific experiments, scientific theory, right? I mean, even though we know there are, because you were like, Nepal, find out in the comments. You're hilarious. You're like, learn the terms correctly before you step to us. But let me say this. My point is, Newton has been proven incorrect about a lot, right? You agree?
Um,
Come on,
uh,
when I say a lot, at least three of his
it's
theories were
incomplete. So the work that Einstein did actually corrected some of the errors that Newton's work did. Now, Newton's laws, they work perfectly fine when it comes to our local universe, our local solar system, and how gravity works, etc.
okay.
But when it comes to galactic scales or universal scales, then the theory of relativity and the fact that space time can actually bend was fundamental in further
From
elaborating
Einstein,
and
yeah.
correcting the mistakes that Newton made. So
And the same
Newton,
thing. Go ahead. No, finish your
so,
thought. I'm sorry.
yeah, so Newton's laws work on a relatively small scale, but on a universal scale they break down, and that's where Einstein's theory of relativity corrected some of those errors.
Which is really exciting. Einstein's theory of relativity comes and corrects or fine tunes what Newton put out there. But what I'm saying is, no one will dispute. No one will say, "Oh, Newton was trash," like how we do with each other, right?
Right.
So with that said, I'm going back to we're talking about Schrodinger's cat, right?
Mhm.
And we're talking about when you say wave collapse once there's an observer, which you're telling. What I don't understand about what you're doing with your group, you're not the only ones doing it. But why are you saying, oh, it's not a person observing, it's not a person, it's a measurement? Well, you don't even use measurement now, maybe you will. But I get it. You say it's really not about the person looking, it is about the experiment, in the parameters that the experiment is being done, and the measurement of. Correct me, jump in like I do, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being cut off. So what I'm getting back to is, with all that understood, is there, are you being more not as rigid with people who are believing? Because there is still that there's a window, there's an opening for, okay, we don't understand why this happens.
No,
I mean,
no,
you get
I,
it?
I, like I have no actual issue with people who are spiritual or who believe in higher powers, etc. I have no contention with someone's belief. Like I keep telling people, I honestly believe I can fly. Like,
But it has a place in science, though. Do you
but-
do? I'm talking to you scientifically.
no, but
Because Schrodinger is one who said, "Okay, I get this. Let me just okay. Let me relax for a minute because I'm all over the place." And there was this woman outside being very loud, right outside my window. So she's gone now. Let me say this: Schrodinger, myself, those who are not pushing. I'm not a proselytizer. So those who don't push religion, we do understand there is a power that we don't understand. See the paradox? We understand that there's some things we just don't understand, which makes things clearer for us. There is something that is always going to leave us asking, how could this possibly be? And that is what I would say is God.
you see, no, that's the difference between me and you right there. Now, I have those same things. Like, how the hell can that be? But I my thing is what tools, what instruments, how are we going to come to these understandings? And until now, methodological naturalism, science, has been the number one way in which we come to understand reality. I mean, there was a time that people didn't understand how thunder and lightning work, and there were gods for those elements. As we become more and more scientifically literate, God is moving further and further away. Now, you made a very astute observation. You never hear me engage with religions. Why? Because I cannot get beyond the point of a God to let alone establish a religion. Uh, the concept of a God is some entity that has agency, that has intent, that that exists outside of space time. All reality, the everything within our universe is within space time, and there is no way that we can have any idea what lies outside of space time. We can't even go beyond the initial Planck time of the Big Bang, because our science breaks down where the four fundamental forces are unified. We have no way of unifying the four fundamental forces. So, um, that, so that, so, so yes, it is almost instinctive and natural to assume and have this sense of something greater, something bigger, something outside. Uh, but from a wanting to understand reality perspective, um, claiming or saying God doesn't provide me with any satisfactory answers, because I'm gonna say, okay, how did God do it? And then we both gonna reach to the same conclusion. I don't know. So I prefer to continue the scientific endeavor in trying to understand reality to the best that we can. And now I know there's a place where we simply don't know. We can't go beyond initial Planck time, like I just said. So there's a place where before time is a concept that I can't understand. So before would imply time, but we know that time in our local universe was established at the initial point of expansion with the Big Bang. So it makes a conversation, and you're absolutely right. From a scientific reference, it's very very hard to engage when there needs to be an empirical basis for a conversation. There needs to be a there, and uh, philosophy is a great environment to hypothesize and explore these ideas and these philosophical concepts, which I rather enjoy. I can have a whole philosophical concept about what if there's a God. I can do that. However, when we when the conversation tries to go into, okay, we're going to prove God with science, there's where there's where you get the pushback from me. But I would love to have a philosophical discussion about God and all possible worlds, and what an existence with a God versus without a God. Those are nice philosophical discussions to have, but I don't confuse them with the scientific one, and that is where the pushback comes from me, and I guess the pseudo killers as well.
Well, you know what? We're gonna have that discussion. We're having that discussion right now. I'm gonna say, um, for instance, let me put it this way, and we can discuss it. With you, you are scientific. You've seen, I assume, you've seen the side of religion that just didn't take you far enough. Same here, believe it or not. There are parts of religion that I have witnessed that did not, that said, no, I can't. This is not enough for me, for my mind. So I need to go further. So I want to put it in this perspective, and I'm going to use religion. And because you said something I don't fully recall, I'm not going to try to quote it, but I'm going to touch on something you said that um, sparked me to go in this direction. Okay. So some people say God. Oh yeah, I remember what it was: thunder and lightning, and oh, we
Yeah.
can't explain this. We gotta say God. Oh, the force, the lightning god did this. Thor, the thunder god. So okay, people in the Middle East or in the ancient Levant eating pork. They're eating pork and they're having trichomoniasis, right? And
Mhm.
they're like, or what is it? Not trichomoniasis, wrong disease. Trichinosis. Trichomoniasis is sexually transmitted disease, y'all. Sorry about that. I work in that field. Trichinosis. I think it's trichinosis. Oh my gosh, my face is turning hot. Like,
Tapeworms and etc. All kind of
okay,
parasites.
it's trichinosis, not trichomoniasis, but trichomoniasis is a disease. It's a sexually transmitted disease. Trichinosis is it? It is. So you get what I'm going, right? You eat pork, you get trichinosis. Now I want to look it up because I said trichomoniasis. I'm so used to talking to women and also their husbands and families about trichomoniasis. I said trichomoniasis. So forgive me, everyone. I'm always going to have those blunders. Hmm?
Trichamonas is what I would say in Dutch, but like I'm professionally trained in Dutch, so when it comes to like medical stuff, I usually use the Dutch phrase. So you're right, Trichomonas is a sexually transmitted virus.
Right. I made him. I said trichomoniasis. I quickly corrected myself, though. Trichinosis is the
Yeah,
one where you eat the pork. All right. Back to normal. Take two. All right. Nepal explaining what she's. Okay. Getting to. So I'm going to rationalize God right now in a small little bubble. So trichinosis, you ate pork, you got trichinosis. So they say, God doesn't like you eating pork, Cedrick, because the proof is people are getting sick. Some people even died. God made it happen. Those gastrointestinal issues, those even neurological issues, right? Because trichinosis
hmm
can go to the brain. So God did it. Then you say science has shown us, no, no, no. Here's the actual reason. However, it still stays as a God reason. Get what I mean? No,
hmm
not for you, it doesn't, but for them, well, still, you're just showing me what happened, but it was all ultimately God that did it. that made those things happen to you that you got sick and died. So I'm going to go back to, and then I'm going to hand it over to you. We're going to take a minute away from quantum theory, quantum physicists, quantum mechanics. Remember you said I don't know all the terms. I actually do, but I just am, look, I messed up trichomoniasis. All right. So I want you to talk to me about the expensive tissue hypothesis, which I am a super advocate of that. So my theory is people were sitting around one day in the beginning of time. They came down out of the trees because they started to eat bigger animals. You know, they weren't just eating insects. First, they were just eating vegetation. Then they started eating insects, and they started eating rodents, and they started eating birds. And they said, you know what? The brain started to develop more. They said, we got to get down out of the tree. Got down out of the tree, started eating bigger animals. The brain got bigger. And it's not just animals. I get it. It's also other types of vegetation, but meat was a big part of it. So, Cedrick, once these people started to get bigger brains, they started to become philosophers. They started to philosophize. Is that right? Or philosophy? Yeah, philosophize.
Yeah,
And,
philosopher.
and then they started to say, wait a minute. Why am I eating? Why am I here? Why am I breathing? I don't have all these answers. Then they started to, the biggest lab was the sky, looking up at the sky. Why was it the biggest? When I say lab, I mean the biggest. We take the things we don't understand, we go to the lab, right? So
Yeah, laboratory.
we look at the sky, like I can understand why these worms are in the earth and why people decompose. They're not saying decompose, but they look up in the sky and say, this is what we want to know. And then they start putting things on it like, there's heavenly bodies, there's God. And that takes hold really very, very, very strongly, not just in their everyday ancient anthropology and the ancient human ways and lifestyle, but also for us, it starts to be encoded in human DNA. Stay
Yeah,
with me.
absolutely
I'm
right.
almost done. I promise I'm almost done. Give me like 30 more seconds. So then, with that understood, it is God. I just explained God though. I explained it. Get it? You
I
get what I'm
love how
saying?
you did that. I love how you
No,
did that
go
because
ahead.
I
I'm
can't
gonna hand it
argue.
over to you now. Thank you. Go ahead. So you get but you
We,
get where I'm coming from, right? That
yeah,
is
like
really a foundation of mine. Go ahead.
we evolved to give agency. Our ability to have empathy is part of our evolutionary success. We can sit and watch a TV show and see someone break their leg and actually empathize with them because we can almost imagine how that feels.
Yes.
So we can imagine, we have the innate ability to imagine outside of ourselves. We can have a conversation in our head and like everyone, like you sound like Nepal in my head.
Right.
Like that's
And that's your reality. And that's who
a
I am.
natural reality. So we
Exactly.
have it's innate to human beings to give agency, right? So we give agency to the things. We have this innate nature to identify faces in the most weirdest things. That's so you're absolutely right. It's part of our evolutionary process that we give agency outside of self. So it is it is the hairs on your back, the idea that someone is always looking at you, that you can always be seen, like even when you're alone in your house, you go to the bathroom and you close the door because you have that distinct feeling that someone can see you.
Can I
That's
jump
that
in? Real 2 seconds. Not that someone well, not that someone can see you. I'm gonna give this to you and I want you to keep going. Someone's with you. Get it? God is always with you. Get what I'm saying? Spirit. So it's someone is always
exactly.
with you. Go ahead.
Or our kids' ability to have an imaginary friend,
Right.
right? They can have a conversation with God, and God is right next to them. So I understand these things. Like when you explore the brain and how it works, one thing about brain, the brain and its plasticity, is the more information you provide it with, the more uh, data you give it, the more it is able to understand the phenomena that it is experiencing. So when you're experiencing these phenomena, you understand what is actually taking place, which gives you as a human being much more control over your relationship to reality. For example, I'll give you a beautiful example. I'm living in a particular street, and because I train dogs and I work with animals, I'm coming home and I see a female dog in heat, and some of the male dogs around the neighborhood, they all escape their yards and they're
Right.
doing their thing. There's this one dog, he's tied in the yard. He's tied, so he cannot access the female. And
Right.
his natural instinct is to start howling. So he howls about 4 days long in that whole heat cycle. Coincidentally, a couple houses down the road, a neighbor dies. Or elder man, he just natural causes, he died.
Right.
I heard two ladies in the street and hear the conversation. I know somebody was gone dead. Boy, I hear the dog howling for the last couple of days. I know somebody was gone dead. The spirit was in the air.
No, no, but Cedric, stop. Stop. I have seen, I'm a thanatologist. I'm a cycle of life doula. And I love to hear that you're an animal trainer because I know people who also use animals in my profession. I'm a death doula. I don't use death, but I say transition. And animals do 100% react to, there's not rigid scientific studies, but I've seen about, I'm going to say, four hard evidences of animals not even being in the house, and they know when someone has passed. They all howl together. Even animals, the next door neighbors, they howl. They do. So talk. You laughing? I mean,
Causation, causation, correlation, fallacy.
but the animals know. My friend had a dog, is half wolf and half I think it was half something shepherd dog. And even before he passed, he was a professional cyclist, and his dog was with him since it was a pup. He found the dog in the wild, whatever you want to say. It Not whatever you want to say. That was the gist of it. Dog was with him, fully connected. When he was transitioning, not even passed away. Let me talk science for you. When he was in the death, this hospice,
Hmm.
uh, the dog became did not eat because he wasn't eating. That's one of the common things when someone's transitioning. And you know what? I'm gonna take it away from there because I love picking your mind. I have so much. I love this. You don't know how much I love talking to you. Forget about all the dog stuff. I already threw that away just that quickly. What about when people universally don't know each other? They just stop eating. Now, of course, you can say function and this and that, but even people who have been, how you say, functional, like socially functional, they'll be working in the day, working their jobs. They stop. They eat less, I should say. People who um, not who haven't even had a sickness. That's what I'm trying to say. People who haven't even had a sickness. Like there are there's information, I can get it for you, where police officers, before they were killed in the line of duty, they just, changed their behavior, especially eating. Is that just one? Because you're scientific, you're gonna come back and say, "I need more." I get almost did your accent, your voice, but you're like, "I need more evidence." But why is
What?
there
Do that
why are
again.
they so?
Do that again.
I can't do it right now. You've disabled me. No, some kind of mind control, but no, really, there are people who've said it's weird because he just stopped liking his favorite food a week or two before. Why is that? How do you explain it?
Um, Before I try to explain that, let me tell you that. Let me say this. My best friend when I was in college, teenage. Um, he was a bit younger than me. He was my brother's friend, but we were very close, all of us.
Right.
He went to summer camp, introduction week for his school, and he drowned. Right, my friend, he drowned. His dad, his dad was the toughest, like strong man I've ever known. I saw his dad wither away, like literally wither away, like he was struck by a sudden cancer. And within 2 weeks, he died. And when he died, he came out of the room, barely could walk. This man was not sick. He just was heartbroken, grief struck. Came out of the room, said, I can't take it no more. I'm going by my son. And died. I can't explain that, Nabal.
Let me tell you. Let me jump in. I see that that's a phenomenon that we know very much. If you're a thanatologist, if you're a death doula, people don't even talk about this. That happens a lot. Where when someone passes, some people can't handle it so much in their mind. They, like you said, they go too. How do we explain that? No,
Now,
and they don't even. Let me jump in. They're not suicidal.
no, no, he
Yeah.
wasn't suicidal. That's my whole point. Like, now, I can go through the exercise of explaining what stress does and how it shuts down particular neurotransmitters, which shuts this down. And but step away from that. Let's just be human for a second. Like, you can grieve to the point that you literally die. That's how powerful our mind is. Like, 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 and I'm right there with you. Like, step away from the science for a second. Slow down the conversation. That's the strength of our mind. That's the amount of power that the human mind has. It has the power to produce life, but it can actually take it away. Like, I saw a man wither away in the prime of his life and died within 2 weeks to the day of his son's death. Like, I'm a scientist. That happened to me over 30 years ago, and I'm recalling this right now just as mystified and as dumbfounded as ever. Like that's a phenomenon. Now, I probably can explain it scientifically, but doesn't take away from how impactful and how dramatic the human mind is. Like, if you understand what I mean, like, I'm still completely human. I'm still sensitive. I'm still in awe when I see an airplane take off. I still love a, a rainbow. So I'm still as in awe about human existence and experience, even though I'm scientifically literate. Like, you can have the two. That's a phenomenon. Whether you can explain it or not,
And you know what,
that
Cedric? That's what makes you the one of the best. That will make you the best scientist. That will make you a better scientist. So I respect that. And for me, I love hearing that from you because I say this. I mean, I speak about Lex. Lex is a little bit more, I have to say, religious. I have to. That doesn't, and I'm not dissing him, but for me, I'm not perfect. Everybody has some type of religion. Even you do, but your religion is a different type of religion. It's a scientific. When I say religion, it's something we really stick to and we will not
yeah,
move away from, right? It's like,
yeah, like my whole like you said it, like, you see me, and I like that. Like, yeah, my process is structured. My approach is methodological. my thought process are also structured like that. I have a conversation like, okay, let's start by the definition. Let's get that down. Okay, this is the bot. Like I structure like conversations like that, and it can be sometimes a bit static and boring. And in these environments, now, like, aren't you experiencing a completely different human being right now?
Oh no,
It's
let
just,
me tell you something. I agree. You and I, that's why I that's funny. You and I are on the same page with where we are right here. It's oh my gosh, I'm getting excited right now because when I say excited, I mean scientifically we got a lot of low vibrational people. The reason I'm saying this is we're seeing we're this is where when I talk about the darkest minds of the light and all the metaphysical and the pseudo stuff you say, you keep searching for that same frequency. You keep putting out all kinds of different vibrations. Like, oh, I missed it. I'm not with pseudo killers on that. We totally aren't vibrating on that same thing. We're clashing. It's bad. Then when you finally it's that scientific, it keeps sending out. This is what, when we have this conversation, I kept sending out information to you, and then you send out more information. Then we find a perfect fine-tuned resonance. So, with that said, I absolutely, I'm not like, I use Lex because you have conversations with him. And I'm not like other minds who say, oh, I'm scientific, but their dogma, even you have a dogma, which is science, their dogma pushes too much forward that someone who is not pseudo, so to speak, I like pseudo, you can't click, and then you become even offended. Flip it, Cedrick. Flip it to where say that you're this crazy, scratch that, strike it, rewind. You're this radical religious person, right?
mhm,
And I could use that phrase, cognitive dissonance. I threw it out there,
mhm,
but okay, let's put that aside. Just you're this person who's like, no, it's right. I know it's right because God said so right here in the Bible. And you could be that person, just like you're the person that just how you subscribe to science. You could easily be the same thing where you subscribe to, hey, the Bible said it, and that's what I believe. So if you could be that, for me, scientifically, get I'm going at, it's the same. And with that said, going back to my, now you were vibrating on the same frequency with me. I I say the conceptualization of God. And the conceptualization of God is everything in yourself. You will not be able to see, there are people who have allowed, it's a form of suicide. They've allowed themselves to say, God hates when I eat pork. So if I eat pork, God's going to kill me. And then they eat pork. And then you know what I mean? They even psychologically kill themselves.
you see, like,
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
I've never misunderstood you, right? And that, and it, I always wanted. I just wait on my opportunity. No, I say I gonna get no power. We gonna have a conversation, me and she, like away from all the people, from all the needing to flex the muscles and have a conversation. Why?
Right.
Because you're a lot more scientific than people give you credit for, and you're a lot more scientific than you give yourself credit for. But you are also very knowledgeable in the Bible and religious studies. Now, I appreciate that. You handle your own with everybody. So so in this community, people tend to quickly put you in a particular box. Oh, she's religious,
Right.
right? So now, when you're discussing science and maybe you get some things wrong or you try to give a particular world view of it, like now I'm listening to you and I'm going, you're a pantheist, I ain't got no problem with you. Like, me ain't got no problem with you. I ain't got no fight with no
Call me a
boss. You're a
pantheist?
pantheist.
Hold on there, sir.
And that is not a negative thing. Like you, pantheism,
I get
the
it. No, I
clinic.
am a pantheist, but you threw it
Yeah.
out. You know they go. You know they're taking notes on us. Listen, oh yes, I knew it. She don't believe in Almighty. Don't want it. No, blah, 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 blah.
I, I see through you long time, but I like okay. Now, far like you enjoy the debates. You like a good fight. You like to get, but there's a fine line that you have, and from the time people get too disrespectful, and you can go off the handle, like you can get really upset. And I see it, and it's just genuine you, and you can grow out of it because I see that you're more on the science tip, and once you get to the point that people can't rattle you, you can have very high level conversations because this is exactly what your point is. Like we can be in awe of the world even though we're scientifically literate. We can reserve a space to be humble and expect and ponder something more without becoming overly dogmatic and religious, right? I
Right.
hear you. Like, well, a lot of people don't understand you. They attack you. Well, I genuinely like you. Like I like Navarre, so
Really? Are you sure?
I'm not quick to be offended. Like I
Thank
like
you.
leave Navarre alone. I leave Navarre alone.
Well,
Dearly.
let me do this then. Since you're, I love it. Thank you so much. I bow to you with that. You can't see me, but my hands together in I bow. And let me say this then. I want to expound on it, elaborate a little bit more. Um, well, see, the thing about now I look at this, everyone. I want to have a theological, metaphysical, but most I'm going to lead with theology,
Let's go.
metaphysical conversation with you.
Okay.
Basically, all of it is philosophical. So let's talk. So with me and with any, I put this out here to all religions, all dogmas. Okay, those who will not, I will not waver. Right? I'm going to say this in especially Abrahamic faith. I'm going to start with Abrahamic faith, but it covers all dogma. You are one individual, not you, Cedric, but there
Hmm.
is one individual who says, now I'm talking about the people who believe, right? They say, there is this God beyond me. Right at that, just in that statement, in that mind, in that thought, when you say, there is this God beyond me, you are connecting yourself. It's you. You're connecting. When you connect yourself, it is essentially you. People won't listen to that. That goes over their head and they say, she's crazy. She don't know what she's talking about. When you say this is similar to I know you're gonna say no, it isn't, but maybe you'll say yeah, it is. It's similar to Schrodinger's experiment, the Schrodinger cat, right? Because what's controlling the idea if the cat is alive or dead? You are. So when you say there's a God beyond me, it is you controlling who this existence of God. It's your concept. You decided to say there is something beyond me. There is a God beyond me. And even though you may now strap your seatbelt in because I know I get a little confusing, but I'm staying on this. Okay, you
I'm
say
right there with
there's a God beyond me. It's coming from that one person with that concept. Even though I'm going to say even though because I'm appealing to those who believe, even though there is a God, that is secondary to you believing that there's a God. And this is the paradox that is in religion, in all ancient religion, that's on point. The paradox, watch this, it is secondary, but of course it is primary for you. And many philosophers, like, you know, many ancient writings, like you say, this is the truth. They always have a paradox, or there's this double meaning, and they always not contradict themselves. You get what I'm saying? There's one side that's totally opposite to the polarized. So I just said it. Oh, Cedrick, there is a God beyond me. At that moment, I become the only one that's primary. And if I'm primary, then I'm the God, I'm the first God. And if I'm the first God, then it's like a weird, you get what I'm saying? It could creep you, it freaks your mind out. Like, wait, how are you the first God when you said there's God beyond you? But wait, you thought it. So it's your thought. So you're primary, but you said there's a God beyond you, and you believe there's a God beyond you, but it's your belief. So it goes back to you being the first God.
You're absolutely right. Like that. Like that's why. Now,
Go ahead.
why human beings have these uh, conceptualizations which uh, they don't fully think through, like you just did, is because we see ourselves separate from nature. Now, if the sun's boiling hot, don't you sweat? If it's freezing cold, aren't you cold? Like, there is no way that we can separate ourselves from nature. However, we still see ourselves distinct from nature, whereby we can see something like distinct from ourselves. We have this illusion that we can think or reason beyond our own brain. So
Right.
to conceptualize God, from the moment I do that, I am creating this God. I am providing agency. Without me giving agency to God, God has no agency. Therefore, I am the God.
So let me ask you this. Perfect. Okay, I don't want to go too much. So what God, when we look at Abrahamic religions, which I obviously, you know, I love, even for the worst parts and for the most amazing parts, right? So every part of the Abrahamic, I'm going to use those because those have a strong hold on a lot of societies for control. They always are saying God needs me to do what he wants, or it's always he. God needs me to do what it wants, or God will not like me, or God will say I don't believe in him. And the core of that is, if you don't believe in this God, if it's not your concept, that God doesn't exist. Now I'm going to take it a little bit further out than you did. Let's say that let's have the understanding, right, in our experiment, this God does exist. Now, don't think I'm talking about the Abrahamic God that wants to beat you up and kill you and burn you up and make you eat your children. And I'm not being funny. That's actually the Bible.
Yeah.
So, not that God, but we understand there is there's a, which, okay, I'm going to let you know. For me, I don't really talk about myself a lot, but my one of my degrees is in, you know, obviously metaphysical science, right? And in the metaphysical, philosophical mind, in this is there is a higher universal mind of God, meaning just basically that which is beyond me that I don't understand. That's why I use unfathomable, right? So you and I are I just want to get that straightened out. We're on the page. Even though I know you're a scientist, I get you're an atheist, but just entertain that thought that we
I'm right there with you. But I'm
right.
having the discussion with you. Come on, stop it.
Perfect. I love it. So we understand there's something beyond us that is not fathomable, which basically is something that we don't understand. And some people decide to reject it. Why should I try to understand it? It's never going to be understood. It's like it's moot, you know, when you're in a political conversation. Why should I do it? So there's this unfathomable God beyond us. But when I'm in a religion that says God says you have to listen to him, get it?
Hmm.
this God even is telling us, I don't exist unless you believe in me. And by the way, no, don't close the door on me yet. You don't want to believe in me. Wait. Hold on. I'm putting my foot in the door. Well, what is it before I close the door? Okay, you won't move your foot. What do you want? I'm going to kill you if you don't believe in me. Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? It's like, you get what I'm saying?
Like, you ever listen to the...
Wait, Cedrick, I'm going to throw this out there. The last part is, even though you close the door on that God, whatever happens to you in your mind, say, oh, I stubbed my toe because that God told me he is right. Even though I closed the door on him, I actually shot him in the face. He's dead. But wait a minute. It has to be that God. It's you. Now, does that, see, people would say, no, Paul saying God isn't real. No, I'm not saying God isn't real. There's 100% that unfathomable side. Now, see where I'm coming in with the spooky. I always forget. Well, I don't know why I always forget spooky location. I always forget the term when you're like, learn the terms. Oh my God. By location.
Spooky entanglement.
Yeah, I always forget entanglement at a distance. That's similar. Like, I don't understand it. So it must be. So it's like, what I'm saying is that helps people when we're back. I'm going all the way back to what I said, and I'm going to sit back and let you just go. I promise I won't interrupt. But that goes all the way back to what I said in the actual theory. Not theory. It's not even a theory. It's a hypothesis still. The expensive tissue hypothesis, where they said, something happened with our diet. We ate something. And I believe that. I know this. I know, as a scientific mind, we ate, our brains got bigger, and then we said, oh, well, guess what, Cedrick? You were there, because I believe in reincarnation. Saw Netter was there. Everybody was there. And we said, okay, look at you guys. This is what we're going to do. There's this God, right? And then we just went forward with our concept. But that didn't mean that it's not real. God is real because it's our concept. So now I'm going to shut up. I'm going to throw all of that at you and let you just work it all out with your excellent scientific organizing mind. But you get what I'm saying? That foot in the door, that God that said, if you don't believe in me, I'll kill you. Even though you didn't believe in that God, shut the door. You still continued with your mind. Go ahead.
That is some of the most beautiful analogy for an atheist I've ever heard from somebody that's heard.
Exactly. And you can use that all day on Pseudo Killigan's Island. God put his foot in the door, or her foot, and you said,
I'm gonna credit you with it. I'm gonna credit you with it. It's gonna confuse the hell out of the community.
But thank you. Like that God said, wait a minute, I will tell you one more thing. You don't believe in me.
No. Oh man. What? You're an atheist, Nepal. So just accept
I'm
it.
not an atheist. I get it.
You're an... Okay, watch. Let's do this. Is Harry Potter real?
Yes.
Okay, you see how good you are. You like, okay, you're right. Harry Potter is real.
100%.
There's books, there's movies. So when we say Harry Potter, the conceptual thing is real because we can all agree on what that is. Is it something factual? Then we would have to agree again that the answer is again no.
No, because
Because
J.K. Rowling's that again about the concept. She made it so real. But go ahead. That's her concept.
exactly. So when so that's why words are very, very, very particular. So yes, we can conceptualize anything, and that conceptualization is real. We did it. Doesn't make it factual though. And this is where in philosophy we have two very distinct branches. We have conceptualization, and where we do things like best of both worlds, or best of all possible worlds. These are all conceptualizations, what ifs, and we create scenarios in which we discuss possible moral issues, etc. And then you have evidential or empirical concepts. So when we look at empirical concepts, these are the concepts that are within methodological naturalism, gravity, the rotation of the earth. And when we build hypotheses, these are all philosophical, but they're grounded in methodological naturalism. This is what makes them factual versus real. So, like, mermaids are real. We can conceptualize them. We know what we're talking about. Doesn't make it factual or actual. That's one of the distinctions that we have to make. So now, when we're in the conceptualization of gods, and especially as it relates to our understanding of how the universe works, and we derive that from our perception of reality, um, that conceptualization is very much real. Like, you were having this argument with Sonetta, and I was in the chat agreeing with you. Your conceptualization is real because you conceptualize it. You can put it down in a book, someone can read it. It's a real thing. Doesn't make it factual, though. And that's where the distinction would be in my position. But your conceptualization of a God and how how that would work, you just said it. It doesn't. We give this God agency where it only warrants our belief in the God. And at the moment that those that believe in the God shut themselves off from said God, they still believe that this God has influence over the outcome of their existence, whereas this God only can exist when they produce this God based on their conceptualization.
Mm, I hear
So,
you. I'm listening. I agree.
so, so, and 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 giving agency outside of self, again, it's very human, very natural. But the negative consequence is that exact thing you expounded on. Now I stumped my toe. God did it.
After you even when, and you know what? I'm gonna let me throw this out here because with you, you're one individual person. Yes, you have come into a community, and then you gravitate toward the group of people who are like-minded. That's, I talk about magnetic energy, or magnetizing, magnetism. Yes, I understand there's light. What is it? Electromagnetic radiance? Everything. Okay, I'm not trying to get too deep. My point is, you agree. We're resonating. We are actually. This is for
I
somebody.
have a natural I have a natural attraction to you. I
Yes,
seek engagement with you. That
and it's not.
there's
And
a
people hear you say that.
magnetism there.
Wait, Cedric. They hear you say that on the low vibrational. They'll say, "Oh, he said natural attraction. He wants to jump her bones." No, he's
No, no,
talking.
no.
We're talking about mind. And
Yeah,
your
mine
message, there are things
like
that I
engage.
put out there that you resonate with. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that. So I resonate, and for me, it's I hear people, I hear you, and I usually, how do I put it? I can detect when there's more to what someone is saying than what someone is saying. I know there's more you want to say than what is actually coming out. But I understand sometimes the environment doesn't allow for that tranquility to be able to have a
Right.
conversation where you can build and be vulnerable, where you can just talk without being judged or being debated or being put on the spot, right? I get that sensitivity. Most of the times, I just want to engage in the conversations like this. This is a fun conversation.
It
There
really
is
is.
no contention. There is no need to win. Like we're just exploring these ideas, and we're understanding them as we go, and we're just playing with thought, right? And I sense that a lot from you, and a lot of the time you're in an environment where instead of having the conversation built upon, you're attacked. And
Right.
then you get that defensiveness. I see it. Like I see it. So like yeah, I'm like I want to pick Nepal's mind. I want to engage with Nepal. Right.
You can.
And
You know what? I gotta
I
bring you.
appreciate
I want to bring you on cam up. Anytime you want. I'm thinking tomorrow. I would love to interview you, get to talk to you.
oh
But you know what I'm gonna do? People are like, we don't want to see them get along. Dun dun dun. But I know our people love drama.
yeah,
But
like
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. I want to ask you some questions though. We're gonna stay diplomatic. I'm gonna
yeah,
step
like
into
we do. Like
I'm gonna
and
ask you some
I
questions about
like
others. No, you don't have to say
like
anything. You can
Star
say
keeps saying, yeah, I'm running from the Nepal. Like and
you
I'm
are
going
running
like
from me. No, you're not running from me. But
no,
listen,
I-
you're a
I'm like,
gentleman.
I want to have a conversation with you without the contention.
I don't want
Like,
to do that to you either, but I do love getting in when I hear
like me
y'all.
too, me
And you
too.
know, I
Like,
said my whole. You see, I have that headdress on with the snakes. I'm, by the way, Medusa. Let's talk. Medusa got a bad rap. See, that's the thing about religion. The woman Eve